Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for attending. Today, this will be your planning session. This is a key element of your success by us recognizing that we have the roadmap to your success and we have to implement it in bite-sizable pieces along the way for you without overwhelming you. And as a new business partner of ours, it is critically important to your success that we do this planning session in a timely fashion, normally within 72 hours. So thank you so much for being here. Now, what I want to talk about initially is our industry. Why is this industry so exciting to so many people that are coming from all walks of life, all employment levels, and why is it that they're looking towards this industry? Maybe they lost a job, perhaps, or maybe they're hearing that this industry, where 92% of all recommendations are coming from friends and family now, as opposed to TV, radio, email blasts, newspapers, magazines, etc., has become very exciting. We're getting rewarded for simply referring. And you can see in the US, we have sales in this industry over the last several years, but have gone up 9.5% just in the last year alone to over $34.5 billion in sales just in the United States. And if you look to the right, you'll see that the sales by category, health and wellness, the second set of bars, is higher than all others and growing. And that answers the element of the baby boomer wanting to look and feel their best and have the retirement income to support a comfortable lifestyle in that retirement. And if we look at people involved in direct selling, how it continues to grow. Well, folks, I can assure you that while in a good economy, network marketing, multi-level marketing, direct sales all does well. It does exceptionally well when it's a bad economy. And I'm not sure if any of you agree with me, but there is absolutely zero confidence in me that our economy is going to get better anytime soon, which tells me we're going to have a lot of folks continuing to join our organizations if we do this properly. So our industry is on a growth pattern, unlike anything else in sales today or in typical business, brick and mortar, which is down. If you drive around and you see strip malls that are more and more vacant than they were 6 months ago, a year ago, that's a very telling element of the economy, because the online sales is far more compelling for people to purchase products that have to get in the car, drive across town, look for a parking spot, get out, when they can buy it online and have free shipping. So it's an incredible time in our lives in seeing what is happening as a result of technology. But you know, it's almost 6 years ago that we started in a tiny little town called Palm Beach Gardens, and a very special thank you to Amy Bidewolf Enterprise for being here. And Amy is an enterprise, top rank in our company, headquartered right there, right in Palm Beach Gardens. And she's one of the direct reasons our company has grown so dynamically in these last 5.5+ years as a result of her leadership. So Amy, thank you for being here and for all that you do. But our company started right here with just 7 of us. And today we're approaching 90,000 partners and customers throughout the United States and Canada. And why is this important? Because if you think about the number 90,000, there's 1.4 million people in Palm Beach County as of last year, 2014, I should say. And so if there's 90,000 people, we've got less than 8% of the population of one county in the United States involved, if you want to look at it from a numbers perspective. And this is very important because this is showing what our opportunity looks like and the industry, because the globe is our oyster. We are going to open up 80 international markets over the next few years. And today we're only available in the USA, Canada, and Japan. So to have 80 to 90,000 people know about this is smaller than the tip of a needle in comparison to the globe. But timing is everything. And when you want to build it big, you have to find a company that's rock solid, that has products that are patented, protecting the opportunity for all of us, that work, of course, that goes without saying. If the products don't work, none of this makes sense. And you have to find those companies that are rock solid, in our case, fully debt-free, with patented products that work, with 7 patents domestically and internationally, prior to entering into that stage of momentum where you go vertical. And that's the international markets opening. But it's not easy. It's extremely rare to find a company of any success, whether they're debt-free or have a great product. It's very difficult to hear about a company that's below momentum. Normally, by the time we've heard of these companies, we may have heard of them 2 or 3 times, and they're already in momentum, having opened up many countries around the globe. And to me, that identifies not necessarily a lost opportunity, but certainly one that we didn't capitalize on. So finding a company that's rock solid, debt-free, with 7 patents on products that work is exceptional in and of itself. But then when you find them before they've gone global with those products, that's a very exciting time for each and every person that we talk to. My job is to help you. Here you are. You just joined. You're part of our liquid biocell family, and we issued you this little butterfly net, this little fishing net. Right? Well, that's great, but that's not our goal for you. Our goal is to welcome you into our team and to help you become as successful as you can be by your desire, right? What is it that you want? And we'll talk about that in depth here later on in this planning session. But you getting issued this, you're one person and this is your net. But what we want to do is we want to fold you into our team where we have an incredible net that's going to work domestically, internationally, in any and all markets by us locking arms together as a team that has proven techniques, proven results, and causes us to experience such great opportunity by us committing to each other that we're going to do this properly. So from a industry perspective, what we have timing-wise is incredible. I don't see the global economy changing. What we have from a company perspective is equally as exciting, if not more so, because our company is debt-free, our products are patented, we haven't gone global yet, and what we're doing is we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's. I like to use the analogy that we're tightening up the wheels of our go-kart. You know, as a kid, we'd go and yes, I'll admit this on this webinar, we'd steal little shopping carts from A&P, and we'd take the wheels off and throw them on the bottom of a piece of plywood and race down View Avenue in hopes that we'd be able to stop somehow, some way. Well, what we're doing is we're making sure that those wheels are on tight. And that's what we're doing with all of our trainings, is making sure we're all on the same sheet of music so they can best support you as our new business partner. You said yes to us, so it is imperative that we respect that and treat you with the care and respect and with integrity to help you on your journey towards what you need. Not what we think you need, but what you've identified. So welcome to the strongest organically built team in Jusuru International. And that's a big statement, and I'm going to support it. Because nothing we say is hype. Everything we say is factually based, and that's the basis and the foundation of who we are as a team and as a people. That we refuse to be part of that population that will say anything to attract anybody, knowing that we may have misled them. That's not going to happen here, and it's certainly not going to happen with our team. And what does this mean? Our top leaders have little or no prior MLM experience, but have become the highest ranking leaders in all of Jusuru. We build on a foundation of integrity and moral commitments and responsibility to all. We share only proven techniques, as this will accelerate your business and the desired results that you need. And as a result, we have loyalty and a team culture unlike anything experienced prior, by all of us understanding that the better we are, the better the team is. The stronger your net, the stronger our net. The stronger your belief, the better the team's belief. So I just want to say congratulations on being here, on your decision. We're so glad that you're a part of the most caring and loyal team in this company that leads with honor and integrity, making sure that we're responsible to you every step along the way. So here's what we started off with when we sign our business partners up. And this planning session is not for the consumer. This is for people that recognize that they wanted to come in at a fast start, 1, 2 or 3 level and participate in the business side of what we're doing. And here's our goal. Step 1 is sponsor 4 for more. Having 4 people on your front line that you've personally sponsored is our goal. And we keep it short, simple, to the point, because there's no need to overwhelm you with the next step just yet, or the next step after that just yet. We're going to focus on this, and we're going to help you achieve this. Now, step 2, just for your information, is that now that you have those 4 people on your team, we're going to duplicate the process with them. Because what we offer is a cycle of duplication that works and always works based upon our commitment to your success and your commitment to now their success. So by us helping you get 4, we're now all going to work together with those 4 to help them each get their 4 for more. And then finally, step 3 is the process that we're doing today, which is your planning session. We cannot achieve step 1 and step 2 effectively without you being at your planning session. So by your being here today is great evidence of your desire for great results. And I hope that this does not look daunting. It shouldn't, because we're going to hold your hand through this entire process. Now, when we sponsored you, we asked you to do some homework that you could bring to this planning session here today. What we asked for was for you to determine what your why is, and then write it down. Make sure that it's emotional, it's passionate, right? It's deep, it's moving. It's going to be enough to keep you focused and keep you here while we build your business together in a part-time or full-time environment, whatever's best for you. Now, I like to share my why so you can understand, if you haven't written a why, how deep it should be. So allow me a moment to do that. In 2008, my children and I had the unfortunate event occur where their mother decided to leave us after 17 years. So my children were obviously emotionally disturbed, and I was upset equally. And my business was starting to fail because the recession was just starting to go into full bloom. My children had always had an incredible life and never knew how they had it because of the efforts of me over the years before them even coming into this world. But they always had the best of everything. And then all of a sudden, by 2010, every single thing I had worked for was completely gone. And my children saw their father emotionally broken, but also financially destroyed. And I didn't want that to be the lasting image to my children of their father. I wanted them to have a life's lesson from this by me refusing to be the victim, by me refusing to allow for anybody else to determine my fate. And I did have support from God in that I had health, strength, and stamina. And I couldn't disrespect the fact that I had those attributes. And I had to get up and go again because I had the strength to do it. I had the stamina, the desire, everything that I needed. So my life message to my children was, just because I got punched in the face and dealt a bunch of lemons didn't mean I was going to accept them as being the defining point of me. I was going to get up and go again hard and show them that without an education, anybody in this country and anywhere, as long as their desire is strong enough, they can have what they want. And now we have a better life than we've ever had as a result of helping people. That's my why. And I'll never turn on my why because I'll always want my children to be proud of me. And that's the level of why that we must have. So if you haven't written one down, write it down. Go deep on it, because your brain will look at that on paper as a problem it has to solve instead of you just thinking about it. It's why vision boards work. They work because they're in front of your brain. Your eyes see it, your brain understands it, identifies it, and then tries to achieve it. So that was one of the pieces of homework. The other one was your list. Who is it that you like, trust, and respect, that you love to share your business with, that has a sense of business themselves, right? That may benefit from an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. And then thirdly, your list, after your list would be, What would you say to those people closest to you who attempt to talk you out of this? We all have them. Family members, friends that can't believe that we're doing network marketing. They're going to try and walk us away from it just because they don't want to have to do anything. This is important. Okay, so let's talk about the why. We talked about my why, sharing it, emotional. We need to know what your why is so that we can help you, keep you on track. So if we know that you have a very powerful why for your family, for your children, your parents, whatever it is, if we know what that is and you're going a little sideways and you're being a little distracted, we can call you and pull you back to your why by saying, hey, we didn't let go of you. We're here. You've let go of us. Okay, so it's important that we understand it because we can also see in our new business partner what they need, and we can help them to the best of their desired results. But on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being most important, where does your why land? If it's a 7 or an 8, go back, rewrite it. That's not going to be enough because it has to be a 15 on a scale of 1 to 10. This will cause you to never turn your back on it, to not care what people think, to not stay in bed when you know you have to go and have a meeting or go and meet some people. So if you have to reevaluate your why, then do it. It's okay. This isn't right or wrong. This is what's worked for us. This is what's proven results. And there's no shame in correcting your position and making it stronger and better for you and your family. But your commitment is our promise. As long as you stay committed, our promise is always going to be intact. Because now that we understand your why, and thank you for sharing with us, we can best support you. But we need to know, additionally, how much time can you dedicate daily, weekly, and monthly? And we ask you to be very conservative in your estimation, so that you are not overwhelmed in thinking that you have a full-time job with this. If you want to, you certainly can, but this is not to interrupt or distract you from your plan A. Remember, this is allowed to organically grow over time so that it meets and exceeds your income from your plan A. So then you have a decision to make. Isn't that wonderful? And that's exactly what we do when we do it right. But can we count on you to follow our roadmap and duplicate our efforts that Amy and I and Kathy Dudek and so many other people have contributed in making sure that this path, this roadmap works for any that engage in it effectively? Right? We need your commitment that you're going to follow the roadmap, that you're going to instill in your teams that this is what they should do. Right? We can't insist on anything, folks, but we can ask them to reconsider whatever it is that they are doing and plugging back in to the effective roadmap. Will you assist us at local events and trainings with your participation as a volunteer or perhaps a testimonial? See, because what we found is those folks coming and joining us need to be invited to be a part of. And we want your presence there because we know that while it may be the same presentation every single time, you're going to learn something new. You're going to meet new people. And what we've created is a culture of fun people by inviting those we like, trust, and respect. Because we're not inviting people we don't like or trust, are we? Why would we want them in our business? But can we count on you to be a volunteer and be at the events and to participate on our webinars where your teams are coming in fashion to these types of webinars to benefit from so that we're all on the same sheet of music? And of course, our conference calls that we do weekly. Because this is the fact. We will hold your hand through this entire process. We will not let go. And ask that you not let go either, as we are a team. Because what we found is that we cannot be responsible for you, but we're certainly responsible to you. And I think that that's fair. I think that that's a fair commitment and a fair promise. We're all adults. And if we work together in a respectful way, the results can be absolutely staggering. So now let's talk a little bit about some of the training, because so many people are afraid of those negative people. and they're not sure how to address them or how to approach them or how to deal with their negative attitudes once we invite them. Well, this is where your sponsor and your upline can truly offer support and assist you, as we've already been down this road, so we've got it. But firstly, understand a couple of things. A lot of the negative comes from attitude. And firstly, most people simply don't want to work if they don't have to. They may want to live off the system. They may want to live off a family member. They may want to do as little as possible to simply get by. But I can guarantee you, most won't want you showing you're smarter and figured it out and became successful by finding something and offering it that they said no to. So they're going to try and talk you out of this. It's human nature. And a great analogy of this would be a pot of live blue claw crabs. You know, they're constantly trying to get out the top, and when one's just about out, one of them's holding on to their back fin, holding them and pulling them back in. Crazy analogy, but it represents well, right? Because those that don't want to have to work, don't want somebody in that circle close to them to succeed and be able to say that they succeeded, and we told you about this, but you just chose not to do anything. They would rather everybody maintain the status quo of simply getting by. And then those closest to us, unfortunately, trust us the least. They've seen our ups and downs over the course of our lives. And they frankly just don't, and I'll give you a good example. My siblings, not one of them is involved in this business. And they've all known that I was successful once upon a time, incredibly so. And they're not involved here for whatever reason. And now, fast forward 5.5 years, being the single highest ranking individual in this company, you know, shows that I've always been underestimated, always. But the closest ones to us trust us the least. And many people have simply heard negative things about network marketing. It's true, we've all heard them, right? So what if I told you that we could posture in a way by us giving you information and content that'll help make you bulletproof over time, allowing you to take that negative energy and neutralize it and turn it into a positive? Wouldn't that be awesome? So let's take the pressure off immediately. We're not in sales, and we are not in the convincing people game. For those of you that have been involved for any length of time, wouldn't you agree that the amount of time it takes to find a wholesale customer, convince them to try the product in an economy where very few have the money to try it, right, is daunting? And then what we have to do is wait for them to do research. Then once they've done perhaps some research, then they want to get their doctor's approval. But yet they'll go have a Diet Coke and a Big Mac. Right? So that to me is all wasted energy, and it causes us to become a convincer and a salesperson. So what I rather do is focus on those that I trust, like, and respect, that have the understanding of business, that could benefit from an extra $500 to $1,000 a month initially, and then walk with them. Right? So if we have that posture, that we're not going to be a convincer, we're not in sales, we're not selling anything, because the folks that you're calling and trying to sell to, trust me, they'll be very seldom to take your call again after your first call trying to sell them liquid biocell, because the economy's poor. Right? So let's all agree that we're not going to be convincers, that we're not in sales. What we are in is a solution business of providing a perfectly timed business opportunity to those we trust, like, and respect, who understand business to a degree, that can certainly benefit from an extra $500 to $1,000 a month with a company that's rock solid, debt free, with products that are incredible, unlike anything ever seen in pharmaceutical or other, that are patented 7 different ways, domestically and internationally, prior to us going global. Isn't that a lot more exciting than trying to be a biochemist? And I'll allow you to answer that yourself. But let's talk about overcoming some of the objections that you'll get, because we all will get objections. What if I told you we could take any and all negative statements and objections and diffuse them with just a little training and understanding of psychology? because we don't want to defend. The goal here is when somebody gives you an objection is to not defend, but to educate. And let me explain that. When you're defending, aren't you in contrast to their objection? So isn't that furthering an argument? True? So what we want to do is we want to diffuse their objection and the argument. The best way to do that is by aligning with them. And here's a great example. You know, Mike, I want nothing to do with it because I heard that network marketing is all a pyramid scheme. Well, Bill, you know, I understand exactly how you feel. Because frankly, there was a time I felt the same way. But having done an incredible amount of research on this industry, would you like to know what I found? I found that if you can align with the right company, with the right products before they go global, we can enjoy a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week income model that'll pay us better than anything we've ever experienced. Can you move your schedule around and take a look? Well, you know, Mike, I've learned, or I've heard that it's all a pyramid scheme. Mary, I understand how you feel because there was a time I felt the same way. But once I educated myself, I found that a pyramid scheme is an illegal activity that never includes a product or a service, and it's only cash for cash exchange. I certainly wouldn't be involved in the illegal activity. Can you move your schedule around and take a closer look? Right? So feel, felt, found. It causes us to align with them. It breaks down the negative immediately by us telling them we understand how they feel. So all of a sudden they're like, huh, they're not arguing with me. Because I've heard people say it a million times. Yeah, but our company's different. You're done. You're toast. Okay, you don't want to say that. What you want to say is you want to agree with them because I'm pretty sure all of us here agree that there was a time we did feel the same way. Right? And we felt the same thing that they're talking about. But what we found, the reason that we're here is that the economy's not doing any better. We have to take control of our life for our family's sake and our own. Right? And we've done our due diligence. But you cannot defend. Defending is only extending the argument. But we want to educate. And I'll tell you this. Once you've done it, and you've gotten through feel, felt, and found, and you've knocked down the barriers, and you've gotten them to listen, and to accept a yes to coming to an event or talking to your sponsor, you're going to be so excited. Because, folks, it does work. It works, and it works very, very well. Feel, felt, found on overcoming objections. So then what we're going to talk about now is your list. You were instructed to make a list of those you trust, like, and respect that could benefit from an extra $500 to $1,000 monthly, that have a business savviness to them and understand the value of getting involved with a company that's rock solid, debt-free, with a product that's never before the likes have been seen of prior to going global. Right? So your sponsor should have asked the following of your list. While we're looking at your list, we'll say who is closest on this list that would simply follow you in anything that you do. Why do we do that? That's low-hanging fruit, folks, right? To help get your business off the ground promptly. Who, also on this list, would understand the value of a perfectly timed business opportunity. Of those above that we just spoke about, who could also have the added benefit of our incredible products. Not the benefit, right? Or not the only benefit of, right? Because that's a wholesale customer. That's leading us down consumption way. And we know that that doesn't work. We've all learned that lesson. That's a class that we don't need to take. And why is that? I need to explain the prescription analogy for all of you that are here that are brand new, that have yet to sign up your first person. Our products are as good as what you're hearing. The testimonials and results are simply off the chart. But what we found is when we lead with the product for those that we see that have a bad hip, a bad knee, a bad shoulder, that simply have joint discomfort issues, and we want to help them feel better, we will be successful in that. As long as they drink it properly, they will have relief. But the problem with that is that they will ultimately shut the product off. Why is that? When I say that the first time like this, people say, you know, I can't relate to that. Why would they do that? Well, here's why. How many of us have gone to a doctor and gotten a prescription for pain meds or for antibiotics? And when we go to the pharmacy and we're waiting for them to come over the counter, we got a bottle of water in hand, and we may even take 2 of whatever it is just to get it started quickly, right? We've all done this. But what happens in 3 or 4 days when we're feeling better? Don't we just simply forget to take the prescription? And we stop. By and large, that's the result. And I can tell you that physicians are extremely upset when that happens, because we've created micronuclear organisms in our body if you are on antibiotics, because now they've built up a tolerance. So my point is, if a doctor can't keep their patient on a prescription, then why would we think we can keep people on BioCell? Okay, most of you know me, you know that the training is logical. That's human nature, folks. If by and large, most people don't finish a prescription because the sense of urgency has dissipated and now they don't need it and they simply forgot about taking it because they're feeling better, then we have to agree that that's human nature, and we can't defeat human nature. You can never defeat human nature. But what we can do is talk about another side of human nature, which is, if I help somebody put $1,000 in their pocket as a business partner of ours, aren't they expecting that $1,000 next month also? And isn't that human nature? Expecting next month what you had last month? So we have two forms of human nature. One is we can lead with the product and know that our customers will eventually, our business partners will ultimately be only customers, and turn it off because they won't need it anymore, but it'll continue to show up at their house. And if they were in the business, and here's the irony. The irony is that we want the best testimonials we can possibly get. The longer we're on the products, the better the testimonials. So if we help a business partner make more than the cost of the product, aren't they in essence getting the product for free? And aren't they consuming it each and every month and then having an incredible testimonial for being on the product longer than a consumer that stayed on it for 90 days or 120 days? So you see the irony here is that we get better testimonials from the business partners because they stay on the product longer, because they're earning money and are required to buy the 1 case a month minimum in order to get their check. So that's why it's so important. If we get somebody to $1,000 a month in income, aren't they making $860 roughly net profit on a $140 investment? Who wouldn't earn 600% on their money every month? So now they're going to drink the product because it's staring at them in the face. It's going to come next month too, but they want that $1,000 again. Okay? So side note, lead with the product, lead with the business. This is a business, and from a business builder's perspective, doesn't it just simply make logical sense that you want to find business partners? I mean, doesn't that make sense? And that's what we're doing. You will find customers because those you think might enjoy the business may say that they don't want the business because they're financially well or they're too busy, but you can always fall back on the product at that point and say, well, do you see value in the product? Perhaps just trying the product and enjoying it, and we can have a conversation in 3 months and see how you're feeling. But you can never fall back on the business if you lead with the product and they say no to the product. I hope that makes sense, okay? So now we've narrowed the list down a bit here. The sponsor needs information on these folks that we're talking about, the chosen few, so we can connect with them, right? So we know a little bit about them, and we can connect with them once we're on a 3-way call with them. And as a sponsor, I like to offer those that I personally sponsor 4 hours a week over 2 different days, some in the afternoon and some in the evening hours. And these are 15-minute slots. So I know that 2 hours on this day, 1 hour in the afternoon, 1 hour in the evening, 2 hours on that day, 1 hour in the afternoon, 1 hour in the evening, that my new business partner has 16 15-minute spots to fill in by inviting their friends to a call with me. The goal here is for you, our new partner, to listen into those calls and see what we're saying and how we're saying it and how we're overcoming objections and fielding questions. Because over time, you will slowly be able to do what we have done and as we're teaching you. You'll have the opportunity to learn. And we had no expectation of you having to do this alone, folks. That's where this does not work. It will not work if you have to try and figure it out yourself. That's why our culture is so strong of holding your hand and helping you. So what we want you to do is simply make some phone calls to friends, inviting them to a call with one of your business partners. And let's talk a little bit about this, because sometimes somebody on that call who you've just called may say, well, what is it? And now they're asking you to be the message. And I've seen more people get flustered at that, especially when they're new. So what I encourage my partners to say is, I'd really rather not get into what I think I know, but really don't yet because I'm brand new. So would you please allow me to do this right by inviting my business partner on the line who can answer any and all of your questions? It would mean a lot to me. It would really be supportive of me if you wouldn't mind allowing me that opportunity on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. or at 8 o'clock, whichever one works best for you. Which one works better? Okay, but when you're calling them, what are you going to say out of the gate, right? Isn't that the question? What are you going to say once they answer the phone? Well, first you're going to say, hi, Bill, this is Mike. Do you have 5 minutes? It's pretty important that I speak with you. Sure, Mike, what do you got? Well, Bill, the recession had such a horrible impact on my family and so many people I know and care about. And frankly, it was disturbing to see the damage, the carnage. And I was wondering, have you and your family been impacted in the slightest of ways? And sit back and listen. Then, because most of the time, everybody's been, even in the slightest of ways, impacted. You're going to say, when do you think the recession is going to fully end? Everybody just shakes their head and usually chuckles. Well, what's your plan, Bill, in the meantime to get through it? Usually the response is, continue to doing what I'm doing, work harder to make less. Right? But we ask 3 questions that we already know the answer to. Has the recession impacted you in even the slightest of ways? When do you think it's going to end? And what's your plan to get through it? Now, very important part is on the first question, you must disclose that you've been impacted if you were. We're not lying. If you were not impacted by the recession, then we have to get to another script. But if you were impacted, you need to represent that first and foremost, because they're not going to want to be the only person on the call that was impacted. Psychologically, it will not work. If you drop your guard, they're more than happy to drop theirs because now they're in good company. Okay? I hope that makes sense. And the goal there is, Bill, we found something that's making sense finally, financially speaking, in a time when very little is. Can you move your schedule around and come on over Thursday? We've got a few people coming over, just a small handful of people coming over. And I wanted to include you. It'll take about an hour. And Bill, I've got somebody here, a friend of mine that's going to be here. I think it would be very beneficial if you came a few minutes earlier. I think you both would connect really well. And I'd love to see you Thursday night. Okay, but we're keeping it very, very, very low key. And we're not being the biochemist or the medical doctor and trying to explain the product. Only certain people can do that, folks. And if you're talking to somebody, a prospect that has more experience than you in nutrition and in health, then that first impression is now gone. Okay, because the net result now of the 3-way call is not to sign them up on the call. It's not to do that. It's to invite them to take a look at what we found that's so exciting. So when I get done with the call with Bill on behalf of Josh had muted his line. It was his contact. Josh introduced Bill to me and me to Bill, and then he hits mute because this is the opportunity for Josh to learn. And my goal is only to invite Bill in support of Josh to come and hear more. Okay? Now, not to say sometimes we may be able to sign some folks up over the phone, but that should not be the objective. The objective is to invite them to hear more. Well, what are we going to invite them to, right? We're on a phone call with them. What are we going to invite them to? Well, prior to any calls being made, we must identify events and or opportunities to share the plan with, the marketing plan to those prospects, right? So before any of us sit down, we should have the webinar link on the front page of our Flow for Success document available to send out via email in case they're ready to see something tonight, but we have no meeting. Right, Bill, can I send you a link? I know you're not available Thursday. Today being Tuesday, would you mind if I sent you a link that in the comfort of your home, you can watch over a 30-minute period of time? And can I call you back later this evening to see what you thought of it, what you like better, the business or the products? Get a commitment. You always want to have a commitment, okay? But what we should do is use the weekly BizOp and product overview that Dr. Kathy Dudick and Amy and I do every Wednesday as an in-home meeting. Having 3 of the top ranking iReps of our company from a stay-at-home mom perspective, medical doctor, and a businessman, former Marine, we're going to appeal to every single person that you invite. And we've been seasoned enough to share the information in a way that will make you proud. Will be very compelling for your prospects to hear from the 3 of us. This prevents you from being the message and doing it wrong. But what you can do is simply invite to your home at like 6:45 Eastern time, whatever that is in your corresponding market. That's when it's live. Every Wednesday, you can have a live in-home meeting where we bring the information and your guests get to hear it from us. We can also invite our prospects to a 2-on-1 over coffee with our sponsor, or lunch, or any place that we could share with them that's convenient for them. We have to be willing to take it to them. Okay, we don't want to just insist that they come to a meeting. We have to make it convenient for them. And as I said, you can always use the pre-recorded presentation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No reason to wait till a Wednesday or to a Thursday scheduled hotel meeting or in-home. We have the link on our Flow for Success document. They'll take you directly to the YouTube video and allow you to play it and share it via email. But the best that we found is to sit face-to-face whenever possible, having your sponsor with you to direct traffic, right? So she or he can direct the meeting so that you can again learn what to do. And over time, slowly start implementing what you're learning. But do you remember our goals, our original goal? It's 4 for more. It's helping every single person that says yes to us help every person that says yes to them. And by us helping you get your first 4, you've achieved the rank of Venture 3. And you've now 4 for more. And we're going to start accelerating your business. But this is our first step. And here's some financial benefits. You can have a good understanding of exactly what this will cause. But regardless of the level that you joined at, we know that we've got $140 level, which is Fast Start 0, $280, which is Fast Start 1, $500, which is Fast Start 2, and $1,000, which is Fast Start 3. Regardless of what level you join at, if 4 people join you at the same level, you are profitable. And let me explain it. So let's say that you entered at the lowest level of $140. Your team also entered at the exact same level, right? Of $140 each. Your total DV, which is your downline volume, folks, that's everything south of, including you, but south of you. So your downline volume for you and your team is 140 times 5 equaling 700. This now achieves the rank of Venture 3, the first rank in our compensation plan. By doing this, you've earned 15% on the 4 people that you've personally sponsored, which is $84, being $21 per person of $140. But now as a Venture 3, having at least 3 personally sponsored people, you have 4, having at least the 700 in volume, which you do have, you're going to get a $50 bonus this month, bringing your first commission to $134, plus our 3 for free program. You having sponsored 3 at $140 on auto shipment will get you a case of product free next month, minus tax and freight. So if you have 140 in product and 134 in cash, you have $274 in earnings over your $200, which is what it costs for the first month, because you have 140 in product, 40 in your enrollment fee and tax and freight. You're profitable. But now it doesn't stop there, because don't we have to help them get their 4 for more? And we do. But let's talk about one more scenario. Let's look at this from the $1,000 perspective, because folks, I'll tell you this. People are going to ask you, well, what level did you come in at? So the reason I showed the 140 first is to show you that birds of a feather. If you tell them you came in at 140, they're going to come in at 140. And I don't want to hear that we're ever telling somebody we came in at the 1,000, but we didn't. It's just not honorable. Okay? But if we did come in at the $1,000 level and we signed up 4 people at the $1,000 level, you now have achieved 5,000 in total downline volume. You and the 4 of them is 5,000 in volume. And you've earned 30% on all 4 of your new people, equaling $1,200 or $300 each. You now have gone past Venture 3's 700 volume requirement and are actually well past Venture 4's 2,000 requirement, and going to get $50 for that Venture 3, as we talked about on the last slide, and an additional $50 for Venture 4. So now your commissions are $1,300 on a $1,000 investment, and still yet a free case for next month. This is the goal, folks. This is what we do. And then we help these 4 do exactly the same. And then we help those 16 do exactly the same. We keep it simple, smooth. And this is what we have found to provide exceptional results that are not overwhelming, that are simple to follow, but financially rewarding. In closing out our planning session today, I want you all to gauge the excitement in the room and those of your new business partners. Offer them the Flow for Success document in its entirety, 6 pages stapled, with local events in your markets also attached. Decide for a date to launch their businesses together, so we can get 3 or 4 or 5 business partners, new business partners, and all of us are inviting to one big event where we can get 20, 30, 40 people in the room. And the excitement in that room, the energy of that room is contagious. And we want to manage their expectations while causing their confidence to soar. Because it's our job to protect your business before you have one by making sure you understand that anything promised to happen quick is usually not good at all. What we're doing is giving you the foundation today with this planning session program to create your foundation by showing you how serious and committed we are, and having the time to connect with you today to understand you better, so you can trust us and we can trust you and work together in an environment that yields great results as long as we commit to staying engaged. We share with honor and integrity, knowing that some will join your business and some won't. And it's okay, because so what? We keep on talking. We keep on sharing. And we hold the hand of those that said yes to us and yes to them. And you know, folks, the better the foundation and you're committing today to adhering to what we're doing, to the quality of training that we're doing, and ensuring that we leave no iRep behind. The value of that is how many tens and hundreds of thousands to come will benefit by us all being on the same sheet of music. So follow your sponsor closely. Enjoy what they have to share with you and the proven results that we've proven, we've experienced. Engage strongly, volunteer whenever possible. Be on the webinars, be on the calls. Invite, pick up the phone, invite some more. And the results are just waiting for all of us and engaging properly. So thank you all so much for being here. And don't go away just yet. I'm going to close out this recording, and hold on.